Have you ever felt frustrated trying to speak English, even after months of learning? You know a lot of words, maybe even some grammar, but when it's time to talk, your mind goes blank. Don't worry, you're not alone. What if I told you that the secret to sounding fluent isn't about knowing every rule? It's about knowing the phrases that real people actually use in coffee shops, at school, at work, or with friends. Hi everyone. Welcome back to English Journey. I'm really happy to have you here today. I hope you're doing great and feeling ready to learn something super useful. Today's topic is one of the most requested on this channel. 150 English phrases for daily life conversation. These phrases will help you sound more confident, more natural, and more like a native speaker. Whether you're chatting with friends, talking to strangers, ordering coffee, or just practicing in the mirror, these phrases will become your best tools. And I'm not just going to list them. I'll explain how to use each one, give you example sentences, and even show you little everyday situations where they're perfect. Are you ready? Let's jump in. 150 English phrases for daily life conversation. 1. What's up? Meaning, a casual and friendly way to say how are you or what's going on. When to use. Use it when greeting a friend or someone you know well. Example, you see your friend and say, "Hey, what's up?" They reply, "Not much, just relaxing." Note, this is one of the most common informal greetings and sets a relaxed tone for conversation. 2. I'm just kidding. Meaning, you say this when you're joking and want the other person to know it's not serious. When to use. After making a joke that might be misunderstood or taken seriously. Example, you're so bad at cooking. Hey, I'm just kidding. Note, helps avoid awkwardness or hurt feelings in friendly conversations. 3. No worries. Meaning, a polite way to say it's okay or don't worry about it. When to use. When someone apologizes or seems concerned about a small mistake. Example, sorry for being late. No worries. Note, common in both British and Australian English. Very warm and forgiving. 4. I'm not sure. Meaning, a polite way to say that you don't know something. When to use. When you don't have an answer and want to be honest without sounding rude. Example, do you know where Mr. Jones is? I'm not sure. Maybe in his office. Note, always better to be honest than to guess. This keeps your response polite and natural. 5. That sounds good. Meaning, use this to agree with a suggestion or plan. When to use. When someone offers an idea and you like it. Example, let's meet at 3 p.m. That sounds good. Note, a simple and positive way to show you're on board with someone's idea. 6. I'm on my way. Meaning, you're already heading to your destination. When to use. To let someone know you've already left and are going to meet them. Example, Are you coming? Yes, I'm on my way. Note: very common in texting or phone calls, especially when running late. 7. Let me think. Meaning, say this when you need a moment to decide or remember something. When to use: if someone asks you a question and you're not ready to answer right away. Example: what's your favorite food? Let me think, maybe pizza. Note: it's a polite way to pause and gives you a moment to think aloud. 8. I don't get it. Meaning, a casual way to say you don't understand something. When to use: when someone explains something and you're confused. Example: sorry, I don't get it. Can you explain that again? Note: a brave and honest phrase. Never be afraid to say this while learning. 9. That makes sense. Meaning, use this when you finally understand something or agree with someone's explanation. When to use: after someone clarifies a confusing situation. Example: I was late because the train broke down. Oh, that makes sense. Note: great phrase to show understanding and connection in conversation. 10. I'm starving. Meaning, a strong and fun way to say you're very hungry. When to use: in formal situations, especially with friends or family. Example: let's grab lunch, I'm starving. Note: it adds humor and drama to your speech, very common among native speakers. 11. Fingers crossed. Meaning, a way to express hope that something will go well or succeed. When to use: before an event or outcome you're hoping for, like a test or job interview. Example: I have a big exam tomorrow. Good luck. Fingers crossed. Note: it's like saying, I hope everything turns out fine, in a friendly, encouraging way. 12. It's up to you. Meaning, you're giving someone else the choice or decision. When to use: when you don't mind either option and want them to decide. Example: do you want pizza or noodles? It's up to you. Note: shows flexibility and politeness, very useful in daily conversations. 13. You've got this. Meaning, a supportive phrase to encourage someone they can do it. When to use: before someone does something difficult or stressful. Example: I'm nervous about my presentation. Don't worry, you've got this. Note: a simple but powerful way to boost someone's confidence. 14. That's a good point. Meaning, you agree with someone because what they said is logical or helpful. When to use: during discussions or conversations where ideas are shared. Example: maybe we should wait until the weather clears. That's a good point. Note: a polite and respectful way to show agreement and appreciation. 15. I'm not feeling well. Meaning, a gentle way to say you're sick or not in good condition. When to use: When you need to cancel something or explain why you're not okay. Example: I think I'll stay home today. I'm not feeling well. Note: softer and more polite than saying, I'm sick. 16. Take your time. Meaning there's no rush. Someone can do something slowly and carefully. When to use: if someone apologizes for taking long or seems to be hurrying. Example: sorry, I'm still getting ready. No worries, take your time. Note: makes others feel relaxed and not pressured, shows patience and kindness. 17. I'm used to it. Meaning something was difficult or new before, but now it feels normal. When to use: when talking about things you've adapted to. Example: isn't the cold weather too much for you? Not anymore, I'm used to it. Note: helps describe your comfort with something that was once uncomfortable. 18. It depends. Meaning the answer isn't fixed, it changes based on the situation. When to use: when your reply requires more context or varies. Example: do you like spicy food? It depends. If it's mild, yes. Note: a flexible and thoughtful way to respond instead of a simple yes or no. 19. That's enough. Meaning used when something should stop, like noise, talking, or behavior. When to use: to stop a child from misbehaving or to end a joke that's gone too far. Example: guys, stop yelling, that's enough. Note: can be used gently or firmly, depending on your tone. 20. I'm broke. Meaning a casual way to say you have no money right now. When to use: when you want to say you can't afford something at the moment. Example: let's go shopping. I wish, but I'm broke. Note: informal, honest, and often said with a laugh, it's very relatable. 21. I messed up. Meaning you made a mistake or did something wrong. When to use: when you take responsibility for an error in a casual way. Example: I forgot to send the email before the deadline. Yeah, I messed up. Note: honest and human native speakers use this to admit fault without being too formal. 22. It's not a big deal. Meaning don't worry, it's not serious or worth stressing about. When to use: to comfort someone who's apologizing or feels bad. Example: sorry, I spilled a little water. Don't worry, it's not a big deal. Note: a kind way to tell others that everything is okay. 23. I can't wait. Meaning you're really excited about something coming soon. When to use: when you're looking forward to an event or experience. Example: our vacation is next week, I can't wait. Note: adds energy and positivity to your conversation. 24. Better late than never. Meaning Doing something late is still better than not doing it at all. When to use. When someone arrives late or finishes something after a delay. Example. Sorry I'm late. It's okay. Better late than never. Note. A forgiving and optimistic phrase, often said with a smile. 25. I'm all ears. Meaning, I'm listening carefully and ready to hear what you have to say. When to use. When someone wants to talk and you want to show you're paying full attention. Example. Can I tell you something? Sure, I'm all ears. Note. Friendly and supportive, great for personal conversations. 26. Long time no see. Meaning, the casual greeting when you meet someone you haven't seen in a while. When to use. When bumping into an old friend or someone you haven't met recently. Example. Hey, long time no see. How have you been? Note. Very natural and cheerful, it shows you're happy to see them again. 27. I'll pass. Meaning, a polite way to say no, thank you. When to use. When someone offers you something you don't want. Example. Do you want to try this super spicy sauce? I'll pass. Note. Simple and respectful helps avoid sounding rude when declining. 28. You made my day. Meaning, someone did something kind that made you really happy. When to use. To express appreciation after a positive surprise or gesture. Example. You brought me coffee. Wow, you made my day. Note. A lovely way to show gratitude and warmth. 29. I'm in. Meaning, you agree to join or take part in something. When to use. When someone invites you to do something and you're excited to join. Example. We're planning a trip next weekend. Are you in? Yes, I'm in. Note. Quick and enthusiastic, it shows commitment and excitement. 30. Same here. Meaning, you feel the same way as the other person. When to use. When you agree with someone's statement about themselves. Example. I'm really tired today. Same here. Note. Short, casual, and very commonly used in conversations. 31. I'll give it a try. Meaning, you're not sure if you'll succeed, but you're willing to attempt something. When to use. When asked to do something new or challenging, and you want to show openness. Example. Have you ever tried sushi? No, but I'll give it a try. Note. Shows courage and a positive attitude, great for learners and beginners. 32. Hang in there. Meaning, stay strong and don't give up even if things are hard. When to use. To encourage someone going through a tough time. Example. This exam is so stressful. Hang in there. You're doing great. Note. A comforting phrase to give someone emotional support. 33. You're kidding. Meaning, A reaction to surprising or unbelievable news. When to use. When you hear something shocking or hard to believe. Example: I won a free trip to Japan. You're kidding. That's amazing. Note: expresses surprise in a friendly and excited way. 34. It's not my thing. Meaning, you're not interested in or don't enjoy something. When to use. To politely say you don't like or prefer something. Example: do you like horror movies? Not really. It's not my thing. Note: a softer way to express disinterest without being negative. 35. It's worth it. Meaning, something may be hard or expensive, but the result is good. When to use. After doing something difficult that brought a great reward. Example: that hike was tough, but the view was amazing. It was worth it. Note: positive and encouraging helps motivate others. 36. I'll keep you posted. Meaning, I'll update you when there's new information. When to use. When something is in progress and you promise to inform someone later. Example: any update on the delivery? Not yet, but I'll keep you posted. Note: common in both casual and professional settings. 37. Speak of the devil. Meaning, we were just talking about someone, and they showed up. When to use. When someone appears right after being mentioned. Example: I was just talking about Sam, and there he is. Speak of the devil. Note: light-hearted and playful, not meant to be rude. Note: common in both casual and professional settings. 38. On the same page. Meaning, you and someone else understand or agree about something. When to use. In teamwork or planning, to make sure everyone understands the goal. Example: let's review the plan so we're all on the same page. Note: useful in meetings and group projects. 39. Break the ice. Meaning, to start a conversation in a way that makes people feel more comfortable. When to use. At events, first meetings, or awkward situations. Example: he told a joke to break the ice at the beginning of the meeting. Note: helps turn silence into friendly conversation. 40. Call it a day. Meaning, to stop working for now or end an activity. When to use. When you've done enough for the day and want to rest. Example: we've been working for hours. Let's call it a day. Note: a natural way to wrap things up in both casual and work settings. 41. Hit the sack. Meaning, a casual way to say you're going to bed or going to sleep. When to use. At night when you're tired and ready to sleep. Example: I'm exhausted. I'm going to hit the sack. Note: very informal and commonly used among friends or family. 42. Cut to the chase. Meaning, Get to the main point without unnecessary details. When to use. When a conversation is getting too long or off topic. Example: we're running out of time, so let's cut to the chase. What's the decision? Note: useful in meetings or when you need to be direct and efficient. 43. Spill the beans. Meaning: reveal a secret or surprise. When to use. When you're excited to know something and ask someone to share it. Example: I heard you have big news. Come on, spill the beans. Note: a fun and informal expression often used among friends. 44. Under the weather. Meaning: feeling a little sick or unwell. When to use. When you're not feeling great, but it's not too serious. Example: I'm feeling a bit under the weather today, so I might stay home. Note: a polite and gentle way to talk about feeling sick. 45. The ball is in your court. Meaning: it's your turn to make a decision or take action. When to use. After you've done your part and you're waiting for someone else. Example: I've done everything I can, the ball is in your court now. Note: common in both personal and professional situations. 46. Bite the bullet. Meaning: to do something difficult or unpleasant that you've been avoiding. When to use. When you finally decide to face a tough situation. Example: I hate the dentist, but I need to bite the bullet and make an appointment. Note: shows strength and courage, often used before taking action. 47. Hit the nail on the head. Meaning: to say something that is exactly right or true. When to use. When someone describes a situation or problem perfectly. Example: that's exactly what I was trying to say, you hit the nail on the head. Note: a great way to compliment someone's accuracy or insight. 48. Go the extra mile. Meaning: to do more than is expected or required. When to use. When someone puts an extra effort to help or succeed. Example: she really went the extra mile to make the event perfect. Note: a strong phrase to show appreciation for hard work and dedication. 49. Twist someone's arm. Meaning: to convince or pressure someone to do something. When to use. When you finally persuade someone to agree. Example: I didn't want to go, but you twisted my arm. Note: usually said jokingly, not about real pressure. 50. Cost an arm and a leg. Meaning: something that is very expensive. When to use. To talk about high prices or something that feels too costly. Example: that designer bag cost an arm and a leg. Note: a fun and exaggerated way to talk about money. 51. Let's call it a night. Meaning, to end the day's activities and go home or to bed. When to use, after finishing work or a social event in the evening. Example, it's getting late. Let's call it a night. Note, similar to call it a day, but used specifically at night. 52. Piece of cake. Meaning, something very easy to do. When to use, when talking about a task or activity that wasn't hard at all. Example, that exam was a piece of cake. Note, fun and positive used to express confidence. 53. Let's play it by ear. Meaning, decide what to do later, depending on the situation. When to use, when you don't want to make a fixed plan yet. Example, are we going out later? Not sure. Let's play it by ear. Note, shows flexibility and a relaxed attitude. 54. I'm all set. Meaning, I'm ready or I have everything I need. When to use, before starting something, or when you're done preparing. Example, do you need help with anything? No thanks, I'm all set. Note, quick and confident response, very natural. 55. So far, so good. Meaning, everything is going well up to now. When to use, to give an update or comment on progress. Example, how's the new job? So far, so good. Note, great for showing cautious optimism. 56. You name it. Meaning, used to say anything you can think of. When to use, to emphasize that there are many examples of something. Example, he knows everything about sports, football, tennis, baseball, you name it. Note, adds energy and exaggeration in a fun way. 57. A win-win situation. Meaning, a solution where everyone benefits. When to use, when a choice or plan works out well for all involved. Example, you get help, and I get experience. It's a win-win situation. Note, positive and often used in business or teamwork. 58. Back to square one. Meaning, to start again from the beginning. When to use, after a failed attempt or mistake. Example, we lost all our data. Now we're back to square one. Note, shows frustration but also a chance to restart. 59. I'm in hot water. Meaning, you're in trouble or a difficult situation. When to use, when you've done something wrong or made a mistake. Example, I forgot to submit the report, now I'm in hot water. Note, informal and expressive commonly used in casual speech. 60. It slipped my mind. Meaning, You forgot something by accident. When to use. When you want to apologize for forgetting something. Example: I was supposed to call her, but it slipped my mind. Note: a soft, polite way to admit you forgot. (61) Let me sleep on it. Meaning: you need more time to think before making a decision. When to use. When someone asks for a choice or answer, that you're not ready to decide yet. Example: you want to accept the offer? I'm not sure. Let me sleep on it. Note: a respectful way to ask for more time and show you're being thoughtful. (62) Pull yourself together. Meaning: calm down and get control of your emotions or actions. When to use. When someone is upset, panicking, or feeling overwhelmed. Example: I can't do this, I'm too nervous. Hey, take a deep breath and pull yourself together. Note: supportive but direct, best used with close friends or in urgent situations. 63. It's a no-brainer. Meaning: something that's very obvious or easy to decide. When to use. When the best choice is clear and needs no deep thinking. Example: should I take a job that pays more and has better hours? That's a no-brainer. Note: great for expressing clear logic or simple decisions. 64. Out of the blue. Meaning: something that happens suddenly and unexpectedly. When to use. When something surprising happens without warning. Example: she called me out of the blue after 2 years of silence. Note: often used when telling stories or explaining surprises. 65. The more, the merrier. Meaning: the more people involved, the better or more fun it will be. When to use. When you want to invite more people or welcome others to join. Example: can I bring a friend to the party? Of course. The more, the merrier. Note: friendly, inclusive, and positive, it makes others feel welcome. 66. Keep an eye on something, someone. Meaning: watch something or someone carefully. When to use. When you want someone to monitor a situation or make sure everything's okay. Example: can you keep an eye on my bag while I use the restroom? Note: practical and polite, very common in daily life. 67. By the way. Meaning: used to introduce a new topic or add something to the conversation. When to use. To casually bring up something that's slightly off topic. Example: by the way, did you hear that Sarah got a new job? Note: smooth and natural transition in conversation. 68. For good. Meaning: permanently. Not coming back or not changing. When to use. when someone leaves or ends something forever. Example: he moved to Canada for good. Note: be careful, it can sound sad or final depending on the context. 69. Kill time. Meaning: do something to pass the time while waiting. When to use: when you're early or stuck waiting and want to stay busy. Example: I arrived an hour early, so I walked around the mall to kill time. Note: casual and often used in travel or everyday situations. 70. I'm feeling blue. Meaning, you're feeling sad or down. When to use: when you want to express that your mood is low. Example: I don't know why, but I've been feeling blue lately. Note: a soft, poetic way to describe sadness often used in songs and stories. 71. Let's get the ball rolling. Meaning: start something, especially a project or activity. When to use: when it's time to begin a task or start a meeting. Example: all right, we've talked enough, let's get the ball rolling. Note: energetic and motivational, often used in team settings or group work. 72. It's not my cup of tea. Meaning: it's not something you like or enjoy. When to use: when politely expressing dislike for an activity or interest. Example: do you like reality shows? Not really. They're not my cup of tea. Note: a gentle, respectful way to say something isn't for you. 73. Hit the books. Meaning: to study hard. When to use: when it's time to prepare for exams or catch up on schoolwork. Example: exams are coming. I need to hit the books tonight. Note: very common in student life, used in both serious and light contexts. 74. Break a leg. Meaning: good luck, especially before a performance or big event. When to use: to wish someone luck in a playful or theatrical way. Example: your big presentation is today. Break a leg. Note: sounds strange but is very traditional, used often in theatre and arts. 75. Cut some slack. Meaning: be more forgiving or less strict. When to use: when someone makes a mistake or is trying their best. Example: he's new to the job, cut him some slack. Note: a kind, understanding phrase that encourages patience. 76. The last straw. Meaning: the final problem that makes a situation unbearable. When to use: when one more small issue pushes someone over the edge. Example: she was already stressed, and then her car broke down. That was the last straw. Note: expresses frustration, used to explain why someone finally lost patience. 77. In the same boat. meaning in the same difficult or challenging situation as someone else. When to use to show empathy or solidarity. Example, I haven't finished the project, either we're in the same boat. Note, builds connection and shows you're not alone. '78. Burning the midnight oil, meaning staying up very late working or studying. When to use when describing late-night efforts or last-minute work. Example, she's been burning the midnight oil to finish her thesis. Note, sounds poetic, often used to describe hard workers or students. 79. Add fuel to the fire, meaning to make a bad situation worse. When to use when someone says or does something that increases tension. Example, he was already angry, your comment just added fuel to the fire. Note, useful for warning others to be careful with their words or actions. 80. At the drop of a hat, meaning immediately, without hesitation. When to use when someone is willing to do something right away. Example, he's always ready to help at the drop of a hat. Note, emphasizes quick action or strong willingness. 81. Throw in the towel, meaning to give up or quit, usually after trying hard. When to use when someone decides to stop after repeated failure. Example, after failing the test 3 times, he finally threw in the towel. Note, comes from boxing used when someone surrenders. 82. Go with the flow, meaning to relax and let things happen naturally. When to use when you don't want to control everything and prefer to be flexible. Example, I don't have any plans for the trip. I'll just go with the flow. Note, reflects a calm, easygoing attitude. 83. A blessing in disguise, meaning something that seems bad at first, but turns out to be good later. When to use when talking about a hidden benefit in a difficult situation. Example, losing that job was a blessing in disguise, it led me to a better one. Note, encouraging phrase for turning challenges into growth. 84. Let the cat out of the bag, meaning to reveal a secret by accident. When to use when someone says something they weren't supposed to. Example, he let the cat out of the bag about the surprise party. Note, often used when telling stories involving surprises or slip-ups. 85. Every cloud has a silver lining, meaning even bad situations have something good in them. When to use to give hope or encouragement during tough times. Example, I was sad about the breakup, but I learned a lot. Every cloud has a silver lining. Note, a classic expression of optimism and resilience. 86. Once in a blue moon. Meaning, something that happens very rarely. When to use. To talk about unusual or rare events. Example, we only see each other once in a blue moon. Note, a fun, poetic way to say not very often. 87. Jump to conclusions. Meaning, to decide something too quickly, without enough information. When to use. When someone makes an assumption that may be wrong. Example, don't jump to conclusions, we don't know all the facts yet. Note, a gentle reminder to be thoughtful and patient. 88. Hit the road. Meaning, to leave or start a journey. When to use. When you're ready to go somewhere, especially on a trip. Example, let's grab our bags and hit the road. Note, common in travel conversations and road trip talk. 89. Let someone off the hook. Meaning, to free someone from responsibility or blame. When to use. When you decide not to punish or hold someone accountable. Example, he forgot the meeting, but the boss let him off the hook. Note, can be used kindly or as a warning not to expect it again. 90. Bite off more than you can chew. Meaning, to take on a task that's too difficult or too much for you. When to use. When someone tries to do too many things at once. Example, he started 3 projects at once, and now he's overwhelmed, he bit off more than he could chew. Note, a warning to pace yourself and know your limits. 91. By all means. Meaning, of course, definitely, go ahead. When to use. To give someone permission or strongly agree with a request. Example, can I use your phone for a second? By all means. Note, sounds polite and supportive, great for formal and informal use. 92. In the blink of an eye. Meaning, very quickly or suddenly. When to use. To describe how fast something happens. Example, he left in the blink of an eye. I didn't even get to say goodbye. Note, often used when something changes or disappears too fast. 93. Don't judge a book by its cover. Meaning, don't form an opinion based only on appearances. When to use. When reminding someone to look deeper before deciding. Example, he may look quiet, but he's actually really funny. Don't judge a book by its cover. Note, a timeless lesson about being open-minded. 94. In hot water. Meaning, in trouble or a difficult situation. When to use. When someone has done something wrong and may face consequences. Example, he forgot to report the mistake, now he's in hot water with his boss. Note, a vivid phrase to describe being in a tough spot. 95. Go the extra mile. Meaning, do more than what is expected or required. When to use. To describe someone who gives extra effort or care. Example, she went the extra mile to help me prepare for the interview. Note, a strong compliment, often used in work or customer service. 96. Pull someone's leg. Meaning, to tease or joke with someone in a playful way. When to use. When joking around with friends. Example, are you serious? No, I'm just pulling your leg. Note, shows humor and friendliness. Be careful not to confuse or offend. 97. Put yourself in someone's shoes. Meaning, imagine how someone else feels. When to use. When asking someone to show empathy. Example, try putting yourself in her shoes. She's going through a lot. Note, encourages kindness and understanding in relationships. 98. It's up in the air. Meaning, it's undecided or uncertain. When to use. When plans or decisions haven't been confirmed. Example, are we still having the meeting tomorrow? It's up in the air. Note, useful when things are pending or unclear. 99. Keep your fingers crossed. Meaning, hope for good luck or a positive outcome. When to use. Before something important or uncertain happens. Example, I have my job interview today. Keep your fingers crossed for me. Note, common and friendly way to show hope or support. 100. On thin ice. Meaning, in a risky or dangerous situation. Close to getting in trouble. When to use. To warn someone they're pushing the limits. Example, he's already missed 2 deadlines. He's on thin ice. Note, strong warning phrase often used in work or school situations. 101. Think outside the box. Meaning, to think creatively or in a new, unusual way. When to use. When you want someone to find a unique or innovative solution. Example, let's try to think outside the box and find a better way to solve this problem. Note, common in work, school, and creative tasks. Encourages new ideas. 102. Actions speak louder than words. Meaning, what you do is more important than what you say. When to use. To remind someone that promises are not enough, they must act. Example, he said he cares, but he never helps. Actions speak louder than words. Note, great for encouraging responsibility and integrity. 103. Jump on the bandwagon. Meaning, to join or support something that's already popular. When to use, when someone joins a trend just because others are doing it. Example, now that the app is trending, everyone's jumping on the bandwagon. Note, sometimes used negatively to suggest following the crowd. After 104, burn the candle at both ends. Meaning, to overwork yourself by staying busy day and night. When to use, when someone is doing too much without rest. Example, you need to slow down, you're burning the candle at both ends. Note, a warning to take care of your health and avoid burnout. F 105. Give someone the cold shoulder, meaning to ignore someone or treat them in an unfriendly way. When to use, when someone is upset and avoids interaction. Example, she gave me the cold shoulder after our argument. Note, often used when explaining relationship tension or conflict. (106) In the long run, meaning over a long period of time. Eventually. When to use, to describe the future result of something. Example, it's tough now, but it'll help you in the long run. Note, encourages thinking about the big picture and long-term outcomes. (107) Bend over backward, meaning to try very hard to help or please someone. When to use, when someone goes out of their way to assist. Example, she bent over backward to make her guests feel welcome. Note, usually a compliment, but sometimes said when the effort isn't appreciated. 108. Right off the bat, meaning immediately. From the very beginning. When to use, to describe something that happens quickly or first. Example, right off the bat, I knew this was the perfect job for me. Note, a casual way to express instant reaction or impression. 109. Hit the jackpot, meaning to have great success or luck, especially unexpectedly. When to use, when someone suddenly gains something valuable or positive. Example, she hit the jackpot with that new business idea, it's booming. Note, comes from gambling but often used in life and work conversations. 110. Don't cry over spilled milk, meaning don't waste time being upset about something that can't be changed. When to use, to comfort someone who's worrying about a small mistake or loss. Example, you missed the bus, but it's okay, don't cry over spilled milk. Note, helps people move forward and stay positive. 111. Sit tight, meaning wait patiently and don't take any action yet. When to use, when asking someone to stay calm and not move or do anything. Example: the manager will be here soon. Just sit tight. Note: a friendly way to say wait for a moment. 112. Get out of hand. Meaning: to become uncontrollable or chaotic. When to use: when a situation becomes too wild or difficult to manage. Example: the party got out of hand when too many people showed up. Note: often used with events or emotions that escalate too quickly. 113. Up in arms. Meaning: very angry or upset about something. When to use: when many people are complaining or protesting. Example: the community is up in arms about the new traffic rules. Note: often used in news or when talking about public opinion. 114. A dime a dozen. Meaning: very common or easy to find. When to use: to describe something that isn't special or rare. Example: fast food restaurants are a dime a dozen in this city. Note: often used to say something lacks uniqueness or value. 115. Keep your chin up. Meaning: stay positive and confident, especially during tough times. When to use: to encourage someone who is feeling down or discouraged. Example: I know it's been hard lately, but keep your chin up. Note: a warm, supportive phrase that offers emotional strength. 116. Hit the ceiling. Meaning: to become very angry very suddenly. When to use: when describing someone's explosive reaction. Example: Dad hit the ceiling when he saw the broken window. Note: strong visual phrase used for dramatic emotional reactions. 117. Go down in flames. Meaning: to fail in a dramatic or complete way. When to use: when something doesn't just fail, it fails badly. Example: his business idea went down in flames after just 2 months. Note: a vivid expression often used in storytelling. 118. Bite your tongue. Meaning: to stop yourself from saying something you shouldn't. When to use: when you want to speak, but choose to remain silent. Example: I wanted to tell him the truth, but I had to bite my tongue. Note: often used to show self-control or avoiding conflict. 119. Blow off steam. Meaning: To release stress or anger by doing something active. When to use. When someone needs to relax after being upset or tense. Example: I went for a long run to blow off some steam. Note: helps people reset emotionally and stay balanced. 120. Throw someone under the bus. Meaning: to blame or sacrifice someone else to protect yourself. When to use. When someone betrays a teammate or friend. Example: he threw me under the bus to look good in front of the boss. Note: often used in workplace drama or personal conflicts. 121. Don't push your luck. Meaning: don't take more chances after already getting something good. When to use. When warning someone not to ask for too much. Example: you already got an extension, don't push your luck by asking for more time. Note: often said in a half-joking but serious tone. 122. Down to earth. Meaning: humble, practical, and easy to talk to. When to use. To describe someone who is kind and not arrogant. Example: even though she's famous, she's really down to earth. Note: a great compliment about someone's personality. 123. Hit the ground running. Meaning: to start something with energy and enthusiasm right away. When to use. When beginning a job, project, or task actively and confidently. Example: we need someone who can hit the ground running on the first day. Note: often used in business or productivity contexts. I've 124. Off the top of my head. Meaning: saying something without thinking too much or checking. When to use. When giving a quick answer or guess. Example: what's her number? Off the top of my head, I think it's 5559023. Note: it means I'm not 100% sure, but here's my first thought. 125. Be on the same wavelength. Meaning: to think the same way or understand each other easily. When to use. To describe people who connect well in ideas or communication. Example: we don't even have to explain, she and I are on the same wavelength. Note: often used to describe good teamwork or friendships. 126. Throw in the towel. Meaning: to give up, surrender, or stop trying. When to use. When someone has had enough and doesn't want to continue. Example: after failing 4 times, he finally threw in the towel. Note: comes from boxing used when someone admits defeat. 127. Let off the hook. Meaning, to be freed from a responsibility or punishment. When to use. When someone is forgiven or not held accountable. Example: I forgot to bring my homework, but the teacher let me off the hook. Note: often used when someone gets a second chance. (128) Barking up the wrong tree. Meaning, to make a wrong assumption or follow the wrong idea. When to use. When someone is accusing the wrong person or chasing the wrong solution. Example: if you think I broke the vase, you're barking up the wrong tree. Note: very visual and often used to gently correct someone. 129. Don't put all your eggs in one basket. Meaning, don't depend on just one thing, have a backup. When to use. When giving advice about spreading risk or making safer choices. Example: you should apply to more than one job, don't put all your eggs in one basket. Note: a common proverb in financial, career, or life planning. 130. Read between the lines. Meaning, understand the hidden or true meaning behind what's said. When to use. When someone is not saying something directly. Example: she said she's fine, but if you read between the lines, she's upset. Note: useful in emotional or sensitive conversations. (131) Give someone a hand. Meaning, to help someone. When to use. When offering assistance with a task. Example: can you give me a hand with these bags? Note: simple and friendly, used all the time in daily life. (132) Keep it up. Meaning, continue doing something well. When to use. To encourage someone to keep going. Example: your English is improving, keep it up. Note: motivational and supportive. Makes the other person feel good. (133) Go for it. Meaning, do it. Take the opportunity. When to use. When encouraging someone to take action or a risk. Example: I'm thinking about applying for that job. Go for it. Note: positive, empowering phrase, great for motivation. (134) Let it slide. Meaning, to ignore something small or not make a big deal of it. When to use. When you choose not to get upset about something minor. Example: he was a bit rude, but I'll let it slide. Note: shows maturity and calmness in daily interactions. 135. Be in someone's shoes. Meaning, imagine yourself in another person's situation. When to use, to express empathy or understanding. Example, if I were in your shoes, I'd feel the same way. Note, encourages compassion and perspective taking. 136. Come clean. Meaning, to tell the truth after hiding something. When to use, when someone admits something they were keeping secret. Example, he finally came clean about breaking the vase. Note, often used when discussing confession or honesty. 137. Hit or miss. Meaning, sometimes good, sometimes bad, unpredictable. When to use, to describe something inconsistent. Example, that restaurant is hit or miss. Sometimes great, sometimes disappointing. Note, casual and honest way to express mixed experiences. 138. In the loop. Meaning, being informed or updated. When to use, when someone is included in communication or plans. Example, please keep me in the loop about the schedule. Note, very common in professional settings and teamwork. 139. Out of the loop. Meaning, not informed, unaware of what's happening. When to use, when you feel excluded from information or updates. Example, I didn't know they changed the deadline, I'm out of the loop. Note, opposite of in the loop. Great for expressing confusion or disconnection. 140. No strings attached. Meaning, something given or offered with no conditions. When to use, to show there are no hidden requirements. Example, you can try the service for free, no strings attached. Note, often used in advertising or offers, but also in relationships and deals. 141. Out of the blue. Meaning, suddenly and unexpectedly. When to use, when something surprising happens without warning. Example, he called me out of the blue after 3 years of silence. Note, great for storytelling and talking about surprise events. 142. Get cold feet. Meaning, to feel nervous and back out at the last minute. When to use, when someone is scared to go through with a decision. Example, she was ready to get married but got cold feet the day before. Note, often used in big life moments like weddings, interviews, or performances. Ever. 143. Play it safe, meaning to avoid risk. Choose the cautious option. When to use, when you want to make a safe or careful choice. Example, we decided to play it safe and stay home during the storm. Note, shows responsibility or a desire to avoid danger. (144) Go easy on someone or something. Meaning, be gentle or don't overdo it. When to use, when someone is being too harsh or using too much of something. Example, go easy on him, he's new here. Note, can be used to suggest kindness or moderation. (145) That's the last straw. Meaning, the final annoyance that makes someone lose patience. When to use, when someone has reached their breaking point. Example, he missed the meeting again. That's the last straw. Note, often said in frustration or anger. (146) Give it a shot. Meaning, try something, even if you're unsure. When to use, when encouraging someone to try something new. Example, I've never sung before, but I'll give it a shot. Note, friendly and low pressure, great for boosting confidence. (147) Have a lot on your plate. Meaning, to be very busy or overwhelmed with responsibilities. When to use, when someone is juggling many tasks or problems. Example, I can't take on anything else, I already have a lot on my plate. Note, often used to ask for understanding or sympathy. 148. Back to the drawing board. Meaning, start over after a failed plan. When to use, when an idea or attempt doesn't work and needs to be redone. Example, the app didn't launch well, back to the drawing board. Note, common in business, design, or problem-solving contexts. (149) Not a big fan of. Meaning, you don't really like something, but you're being polite. When to use, when you want to express dislike gently. Example, I'm not a big fan of horror movies. Note, softer than saying, I don't like. (150) Take it with a grain of salt. Meaning, don't believe something completely. Be a little skeptical. When to use, when hearing rumors or information that might not be true. Example, he said he met a celebrity, but take it with a grain of salt. Note, helps you stay thoughtful and avoid believing everything blindly. And that's it, friends. You've just learned 150 practical English phrases that native speakers use every single day. From greetings to expressions of emotion, encouragement, and even idioms, you now have the tools to speak more naturally and confidently in real conversations. Remember, don't just memorize these phrases, use them. Practice them in daily life. Repeat them aloud and try them in real conversations. The more you speak, the more fluent you'll become. If you found this video helpful, give it a like, subscribe to English Journey, and share it with someone who's learning English too. Your support helps us grow and keep bringing you high-quality content. Thanks so much for watching. Take care, keep learning, and as always, see you next time on English Journey. Bye for now.